Hey all, welcome to Maweh Mysteries, the channel that brings you interdimensional content, which means that the readings are from a broad and expanded point of view, as they are channeled through vast dimensions of space and time, and therefore should resonate with you guys whenever you come across them. Oh guys, so I've fleshed out the mentorship sessions like in a way that can be explained to people. So I've put that down in the description box. There's three levels to the mentorship sessions. You can decide what session like you're starting at depending on how you understand things. I've put little keywords next to every level so you can understand that, okay, fine. If I'm in the Dusk level, which is like an introduction level, basically, I'm still needing to understand my counsel, understand how to communicate, understand the symbolic language which they use. So this is my session. You'll understand that if you're in the night level or the dark level, then you're kind of intermediate, and it's more for you about this intertwining of body and spirit and learning how to not be alone, learning that you are not alone, but also functioning from that state, um, understanding continuous communication and how that also shows up in your 3D reality. Um, Ultimately, co creation, like just understanding the fundamentals and the ideals of co creation, be it with entities, be it with your ancestral group, be with a higher self, and then or you could be at a more advanced level of your spirituality, which is our dawn level, which speaks to a state of unity, which speaks to a state of coagulation, matrimony. Coagulation kind of explains like how something liquid turns into a more solid form. So if you look at liquid as like spirit and a more solid form being your physical body, then you understand that that last part is about that transition of embodiment, basically. And matrimony, in esoteric concepts, that's how they talk about it. Matrimony is obviously a marriage, but before you get all out there and you're like, marriage, what's going on here? As much as marriage is what, people are doing when they're in church and getting married, but marriage also speaks to a mixing of different elements, which but being put together as one, which is basically what happens when you embody a highest self, or something like that. And basically the science behind that and how it manifests within the 3D reality is what the mentorship is about within that level, right? So you decide what level that you're at. um if I feel like that's not true, I'll know it from your email and I'll let you know. It actually hardly happens, to be honest. A lot of you have a really great idea of where you are spiritually, and also just because you did, let's say, the introductory or the dusk level once doesn't mean that the next time you're now on the dark or on the night level. You could have to do the introductory level maybe 3 times, and then you will feel like, okay, cool, now I'm good, we're in the next part, and so forth and so forth. Yeah. So yeah, that information is in the description box. This is an indigo reading. a lot of people don't pay a lot of attention, or think they don't have to pay a lot of attention to the indigo template within them, and they want to jump straight into maybe like a Nzunza template, because there's so much more action in the Nzunza template, right? Even though it's like scary, or maybe adrenaline filled, but it's very much a physical state, manifestation kind of state of being with the Nzunza. And also it's got the appeal of a like balancing out our dark side, which obviously is very much appealing. Whereas with the indigo state, it's very much a conceptual state. But I think people underestimate how necessary that is, because our indigo state is very much connected to our inner world and our inner secrets, our imfihlo of your bloodline, the secrets of your bloodline. Because ultimately, guys, the indigo has a lot to do with people who are of a lineage that is, this is going to sound wild, that is half human, half entity. And when you awaken that within your template, you've awakened that within yourself. You've awakened a very high frequency channel within yourself. You are able to receive downloads, to receive information, almost very immediately. So when you ask a question, you tend to find that there's an answer immediately. And that kind of pulls you into this world where it feels like as though ungaphansi kwamanzi, which means to say you are surrounded by knowledge, you're surrounded by beings and entities that are not of the physical world, but that relate very much to the non-physical version of yourself. Now, people may say, yeah, everybody is like, obviously half spirit, half human. Okay, cool. I don't mind like going down that road with you, but not many people have their entity part, or what you call spirit, activated. So therefore you are running just under a human template, whereas an indigo person has activated their entity or their spirit side and is actually in a state of being where they are no longer just human, where they are operating from maybe what could even be called an advanced human state. And it allows your world to grow, to be so much more expansive, because your inner world becomes so alive. You are given insight into civilizations, like for instance underwater civilizations, under earth civilizations, galactic civilizations, but other ways of being, other ways of living, what some people here call advanced magic. And it helps align you with your purpose. It helps align you with your mission, because it expands your nature. It expands your concept of yourself. And without a proper understanding or a proper connection to the indigo template within you, even your Zunza template can only go so far. It can only go so far, because the Nzunza needs a path, it needs room within you in order to reveal itself. The indigo part creates the room, it creates the space. And if you downplay the indigo template and tell yourself, no, mina nzunza, like that's it, it's hard for your Nzunza to flourish, or what you call ukparamisa inzunza, because your inner world is just a one room. Nzunza is this big advanced thing. It's colossal. You can't have it in a one room. You can't have it in a room that's as big as a toilet or a bathroom. It has to it has to have a whole spiritual landscape in order to properly unfold. And that's what tending to your indigo template allows you to do. It allows you to enlighten your inner world. It allows you to awaken yourself to your inner world. And that creates expansion, which allows not just Nzunza, but also other entities that wish to work with you and collaborate with you to, it allows them space for connection, for communication. I'm going to pull some cards. And when I say for you indigos, or when I say now I'm speaking to the indigos, I'm speaking to people that have an awareness of the fact that there's parts of their templates that are not human. This is gonna sound messed up, but I'm not trying to be messed up and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just, it's just like, things that I think sometimes. Yesterday I was thinking about the whole, identification, the way now you can, identify as he or identify as she. And I was like, I mean, sooner or later, this is gonna give people the opportunity to say, I identify as a water spirit. I identify as a star seed, or I identify as a star being. And why not? If we're out here and now we're able to choose, like Uguti, no, I mean, I identify as the he or I identify as they. Like, yes, definitely, y'all should be able to do that. Guys, like some do whatever. It's whatever. But I don't see why that should stop, because I know people that feel like that. I know people that feel like other beings within them more than they feel human, for instance. And it can be funny now, like, hi, Zanne, yo, you're going too far, you're going too far. Watch. And I think it will also allow people to function more under the template that they have in comparison to just the general human template that we have in the world. It will allow people to discover their own ways of being and their own ways of living. Guys, and I want to make it clear, I have nothing against the human template. Like, especially because when you're born into this world, I understand the human template to kind of be like a helping hand. Like, I understand the human template to actually be a guardian or a nurturer or a parental figure that almost teaches you how to create, how to unearth, how to become. I just think the confusion lies in then later thinking that this is the only template that one can create themselves within. Yeah, with indigos, you guys are so hungry. You're so so hungry. Like, you're so hungry for a more authentic version of yourself. It's like you've used all the tools that were given to you under the human template in terms of creating, and the ones that you haven't used, you don't want to. Like, you're good. And which is obviously your right. But you have this longing. You have this longing for a deeper version of yourself. You have this longing to not only become, but to also express yourself in a certain way. You have this longing to connect to more than what you're told you're being able to connect to. It's like sometimes you're in a society that tells you that, if you're looking for your higher being, we have God. Like, that's it, that's all we have. But God is such an expansive concept, where sometimes you're needing something that is closer to the physical dimension. You're needing something that is, yes, of a higher aspect, yes, lighter still, and yes, still higher in frequency, but also something that you can still closely connect to. And I'm not saying, guys, you can't have a close connection to God. Like, that's definitely not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that that's also why there's angels. That's also why there's Orisha. And that's also why you have your star being families and these other entities, is because God is such an all-encompassing concept. You almost need, like, like stairs, you need the steps in between, and then yeah, at some point you'll get this connection with the all, where you feel like, oh my god. But we need to start somewhere, and that's kind of how you're feeling. You're needing other personifications of yourself, but of a lighter form. um Yes, something that allows you to express your multidimensionality. And you're needing it to be so much closer to home. And what I mean by that is that you're needing it to be a representation of you. And the reason why your yearning and longing is so specific is because it is readily available in your template. You are an indigo. You have lineage that is connected to entities, and what you're hungry for is a connection with those entities, a connection with that part of your bloodline. Yeah, and yes, a lot of indigos end up with a bloodline that is connected to star beings and also water beings, because both these descriptions are just kind of like code words for interdimensional. So beings that functioned under different rules of physics, different rules of biology, even, and yet you have access. I'm getting manifestation systems, self healing systems. Like, you have connections to beings that mastered those systems, self healing systems. Maybe I'm feeling like that because I'm fluish. Because I'm kind of like getting the flu. I'm very nasal. So maybe I'm also like, bitch, can we connect? Because listen, I'm not trying to go through this. But yeah, self healing can be anything from like physical self healing, like me and this nasal thing going on, but also, being able to heal from certain traumas, being able to heal from limiting ideas, being able to heal from miscalculations and what you would maybe refer to as bad decisions on your part, and manifestation systems, learning how to refine the power in the word. So understanding, or not understanding, but connecting to the part of you where your will is done and your will can be communicated, and nature takes it so seriously because it's of such a high frequency that the manifestation is almost immediate, type of thing. Yeah, you've got this thing. This card says Ace of Activations. It says pioneers, like for real. I mean, you know how everyone talks about how the pineal is the seat of your spiritual perception, of the part of yourself that is able to perceive your higher self or your inner world. And with indigos, this part of yourself is obviously very like sensitive, you know 100,000 nerve endings and shit like that, and with even just a whiff or like a whisper, a whole world can come alive. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, look at this. I was like, just a whisper, and this card says whispers of the universe. For real. This reading is very good for you. It's quite the activation. Y'all should also look into those mentorship sessions. It's going down in the mentorship session, like in the mentorship session, guys. I love it because it's so personal. It has to do with your personal templates. Like, obviously the readings are still available, guys, it's cool, but then I understand how not everyone is ready for the mentorship session. Like, I understand how with some of you, and for not every, I think the mentorship sessions are just in general not for everyone, whereas the personal readings, that's for everybody. Like, everybody should book like a reading. But with a mentorship session, it's almost like I don't want to say that because that's gonna make everyone want to come through, and I don't want that. I don't want that because it's like the mentorship sessions are like your classes in mystery school, basically. Hey, as guys, I've actually become like a proper spiritually certified teacher. So yeah, if you're feeling this, if these images, like, create that thing in you where you are either feeling very cold right now or just feeling like you're heating up, you should definitely book a mentorship session. Or if you're just getting excited at what I'm saying and it's like resonating with you, consider booking a mentorship session. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys. If the reading resonated, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to book a personal reading or a mentorship session, the information is in the description box. There.